the person continues to drink, there'll be patches of areas of pancreas that are constantly degenerating. They're small areas, so again, they're not really going to cause a lot of symptoms, certainly not profound symptoms. Maybe someone will feel some discomfort, some epigastric discomfort, some abdominal discomfort, but it's not going to be profound. Okay, this will go on for a long time until finally, most, if not all, of the exocrine pancreas has been destroyed and replaced with scar tissue. If that happens, probably the first presenting sign or symptom they'll have will be pancreatic insufficiency. They'll present with a malabsorption syndrome. The malabsorption syndrome will not only include diarrhea, but a lot of fat loss in the stool or steatorrhea. And so, if you have a person who is a known alcoholic, who starts complaining of diarrhea characterized by high fat content, your guess in that situation would be chronic end-stage chronic pancreatitis. You have the right context, you would suspect it's going to be end-stage chronic pancreatitis. You can check on that. There are some markers for end-stage chronic pancreatitis, or more specifically, pancreatic insufficiency. You can measure the amount of pancreatic enzymes in the stool. Usually the one we use is elastase because it tends to survive the GI tract. So if we wanted to measure the amount of enzymes, pancreatic enzymes in the stool, check for pancreatic insufficiency, you would measure elastase activity in the stool. You will find that that elastase activity is lower than normal. That's a good indication that you have end-stage pancreatic insufficiency, chronic pancreatitis due to insufficiency. Yes?
Did you say the elastase was lower or higher?
Elastase will be lower in the stool, yes, because there's no pancreatic enzymes being synthesized. You've lost most of the acinar cells. Okay, which brings us to the next point. You've lost most of your acinar cells. Those were the cells that made pancreatic amylase and lipase. As a result, if someone has chronic pancreatitis, you can't rely on those as markers for inflammation. There might be so much pancreas that's been destroyed. If you measure pancreatic amylase and pancreatic lipase, you might actually find it's below normal. They are not reliable markers for chronic pancreatitis because most of your acinar cells are probably gone by the time you would diagnose this condition. Let's take a look at end-stage chronic pancreatitis. That's the pancreas. That's the microscopic appearance of the pancreas. What do I see here mostly is scar tissue. Nothing but scar tissue. There's a little duct there. Okay, it looks like you got some islet cells here. And I think this is the small remaining patch of acinar cells. So out of this whole section of pancreas, there's this one microscopic patch left of acinar cells. Does it surprise you that if you were to measure pancreatic amylase and pancreatic lipase, they'd be almost below normal? There's nothing left to make the enzymes. And at the same time, there's nothing left to make the enzymes. That's why you would use elastase as a marker in the stool. You'd find elastase in the stool is lower than normal. There's an elastase deficiency in the stool. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the appearance of end-stage chronic pancreatitis. So at this point, the pancreas will mostly be fibrotic. It probably would have undergone dystrophic calcification. So on a CT scan, what would you expect to see? Shrunken, calcified pancreas. That's exactly what you see. So there's the normal pancreas again. Notice its size. Bless you. Notice the pattern of radiographic texture. If that's normal, look at this pancreas. Got liver over here, there's the pancreas. You can see the head here and the tail. Look at the pattern throughout the pancreas. You see these calcifications here. That's all dystrophic calcifications. Pancreas is shrunken. You'll also notice in the tail, you have this kind of linear area of lucency. That's the dilated pancreatic duct. When the pancreas atrophies, it pulls on the duct and it dilates. And so you have this shrunken, calcified pancreas. That's end-stage chronic pancreatitis. There's probably not much left in that pancreas to synthesize any digestive enzymes. Now, often, if the deterioration of the exocrine pancreas is slow enough, the acinar cells will degenerate at the same time sparing the islet cells. So, just because someone has end-stage chronic pancreatitis doesn't necessarily mean they'll have diabetes or anything else related to endocrine insufficiency of the pancreas. Any questions on this? Okay, so that is as far as we go with GI.